Well, hi, everyone. Ken Ham, CEO of Answers in Genesis Creation Museum and the Ark Encounter. You can see the Ark behind me and people that are here today. In Northern Kentucky, yeah, we're allowed to be open. We've been open for quite a while, and we're thrilled with all the people that come from all over America. And we have a couple of very special guests today, got a very special program coming up. And I'm just thrilled that we can host this program at the Ark Encounter at our conference center, the Answers Center. We have a 2,500 seat auditorium and big lobbies, and it's a phenomenal center. So I'm going to introduce to you, well, he needs no introduction. For those of you who are watching, one of the top celebrities from the 80s and 90s, TV star Kirk Cameron. You'll remember the popular show Growing Pains. Well, Kirk became a Christian during the height of his fame. He took a bold stand for the Lord, as we all know, and he produced and co-hosted the Way of the Master TV program with Ray Comfort. He's also starred in movies such as Fireproof, Monumental, others as well, and produced many of his own films through his own studio, Cam Studios. He travels the country. He takes a bold stand for truth. He's an advocate for families and marriages, and he is actually doing these programs called Living Room Reset, and it sounds absolutely fascinating. What a wonderful date night opportunity for you all out there. And he's going to tell us all about that, plus introduce another guest that we have. We have Matt Hammitt with us. At least he's got the name Ham in the surname. I mean,
I know, right?
He's got a part of that there. And I'm going to let Kirk to introduce Matt and then tell us about these programs that you're doing. Now, the program that's coming to the Answer Center is November 19th. November 19th this year, 2020. Yes, we are able to host this program in Northern Kentucky at our conference center. Time is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's Kirk Cameron's Living Room Reset. So, Kirk, over to you to tell people all about it, how they can get tickets. What a wonderful opportunity to be able to see you and the program. And you know what? I just love the fact that you're challenging families, that you're teaching mums and dads, and want to see young people raised up, godly young people raised up in this nation, and pointing this nation to Christ.
Thank you, Ken. It's an honor to be talking with you, and it's a privilege to be here with Matt and to be coming to the Ark Encounter and to be able to host the Living Room Reset there. So you had said that this was a great opportunity for a date night. So actually, the way this works is that Matt Hammitt will take will take your wife on a date. It's a date night. No, I'm kidding. That's not how it works. It's
I don't like the sound of that, Kirk.
You didn't like the sound of that. No, it's a chance for husbands to take their wives to surprise their husbands and come together for a night undistracted of worship, a fellowship, of encouragement, some inspiration. Matt Hammitt's going to be leading us through worship all night long. We have teaching on the subject of marriage and family, parenting. And if ever there is a time where we could use a date night, a night away to worship and breathe and remember that there is a sovereign God on the throne, and to get those heavenly principles rooted in our families, it's right now. And that's why we're working so hard to get back out on the road amidst all of these restrictions in all of these states. And we're so thrilled to be coming to you for the Living Room Reset.
Hey, Kirk, where else in the world, think about it, where else in the world could you have a date night where Noah's Ark landed?
Nowhere. And it's so exciting to have the lions and the elephants roaring in the background, and T-Rex who kind of scurries by, while you're eating your dinner. It's a fantastic date night. You don't miss it.
So here's what they could do. They could have a date day and then a date night. So the date day, they come to the Ark and bring their wives, their families to the Ark, and then the date night to go to the Living Room Reset program that you're conducting. And I think that would be a great day for them.
And that's true. And there's actually another added bonus to this date day, date night. And that is, there's a VIP experience that you could be a part of. You have to sign up for it when you get your tickets. But the VIP experience includes a 1980s Mike Seaver bus party. So we literally convert our tour bus into a time capsule we go back into the 1980s with 80s music and 80s movies. And there just might be a Mike Seaver sighting there at this time capsule. And we just have a great time reminiscing about the 80s.
I gotta say, Kirk, I've experienced these bus parties, and they're pretty epic. They're pretty epic. So people, if you were a Growing Pains fan or just a Kirk Cameron fan, like it's an epic time. You don't want to miss that.
Or a Cyndi Lauper fan, or
totally
Duran Duran fan. It's pretty fun. But one of my favorite parts about the whole evening is the fact that Matt Hammitt is leading us in worship. I remember the first time that I met Matt. It was in our backyard. A mutual friend had invited him to come over, and around our campfire in the backyard, he played that song that just had me in tears as a father the first time I heard it. It's that song that we all love called Lead Me. And he sang it around my campfire with my kids there, which was just a cruel trick to play on a dad in front of his kids, because the tears started coming again. And Matt's leading us in worship from the start of the evening all the way through until the end, and sharing some amazing stories about his marriage and his children. And I just leave with my spiritual tank full to overflowing. And I know that everyone will who comes to the Living Room Reset.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly a huge privilege to be part of it, Kirk, and lead worship, because I get to kind of experience from the very beginning of the night as people walk in, and as they hear from you, and I get a little moment to share my testimony, and then, all the issues that you lead them throughout the night. By the end, to get the opportunity not only to see people kind of come in and kind of watch their countenance, but then watch them by the end, just as you literally see not only on their countenance, but also as couples, how they've moved together, and just the way that they interact with each other. You can tell that they're thinking, they're growing, they're receiving, and recommitting their marriages and their families to God. So it's been one of the joys of my life to be a part of these events.
Hey, Kirk, I just want to let you know that somebody here said you haven't aged. So you look the same as what you did in the 80s and 90s. Is that correct?
They're being very kind. They have the spiritual gift of encouragement. I just joined Club 50 about 2 weeks ago. So the aging process is kicking in. The second law of thermodynamics, the curse is showing itself. But we have all kinds of fancy lights and things, don't we, Ken, to try to keep us looking a little younger than we are.
Oh, absolutely. Well, for me, I don't have to, but I can understand for you. Yeah. So somebody else said the
curse is a little more severe with me than it is for you. So I need the lights.
Yeah. Well, that's because you live in California. So
that's right. I don't know what it is. Whether it's the politics or the too much sunshine and smog.
Yeah.
So do you have an October birthday too? I have an October birthday.
Yes. Mine is the 12th. It's been Columbus Day ever since I could remember as a little kid.
Oh, mine is the 20th. How about that?
Okay.
That makes 3 of us, because I'm the 19th.
I think I was born a little bit before you. I was born in 1951. How's that?
Well, that's great. I just can't help but think about when you say you were born in the 50s. My grandmother is now 97. And she was born, I don't know, what does that take her back to? 19, I don't know what, I have to do the math in my head. 20s. And, we've seen our country change so much, since you were a kid, certainly since my grandmother was a child. My grandfather was a Marine in World War II. He fought on the island of Iwo Jima for the principles of this country, the principles of freedom, the Constitution. And I look today at families and how kids are being taught to be ashamed of the United States, and they mock the Judeo-Christian values that the country was based upon. And that's why I'm so passionate about bringing God's principles from the Bible and helping parents to build those principles into their kids and educate them, train them up in the way that they should go. It's so important. I don't think an election is going to fix our nation, but education will. And they need to be educated in a biblical worldview. And that's what I want to help people do together with Matt at the Living Room Reset.
And that's why we love your ministry so much. And, you know, the family is the first and most fundamental of all human institutions which God ordained in Scripture. And it's the backbone of the nation. I mean, it's the unit that God uses to transmit that knowledge from one generation to the next and to the world around. And the family is under incredible attack. And so I think it is so wonderful that you're doing these programs to really deal with the family and to talk to mums and dads and about raising godly offspring. And so I think this living room reset program that you're going to do here at the Ark Encounter is going to be absolutely fantastic. And again, just to tell people, this is Thursday, November 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. But I encourage you to come and get an Ark ticket and come during the day to the Ark. But let me ask you a question. So how can people get tickets? I know on our Ark Encounter site, they can go to arkencounter.com/events and get to our events page. But how can they get tickets through you?
So another easy way, in addition to the one that you just mentioned, is to go to kirkcameron.com. If you go there, there are tickets available. Matt, where else can people get tickets? I know those two sites.
Yeah, I think actually kirkcameron.com is the main place where people can go to get all those links.
It's good that it's that easy for me to remember. You know, now that I'm 50 and I'm losing brain cells, I just have to remember my name, and I can tell people that's where you get tickets.
Yeah.
Hey, Ken, can I just say that it is such an honor to be able to talk with you, because I've learned so much from you and your ministry for decades. I get the Answers magazine. I read it every time that it comes in. And I've read your books, not all of them because you've written a lot, but I get so many nuggets through your videos when my kids ask me questions like, where did Cain get his wife? And what about this? And, you know, what about, you know, why do sharks have teeth if they were vegetarians all those years ago? I'm so thankful for you. And I'm so thankful for your boldness. And I'm so thrilled to see that a life-size Noah's Ark has been built there on the property, and people can come see it. I've been there myself, and it's absolutely magnificent. It's stunning to think that somebody built an ark this big. And yes, indeed, it can hold all those animals. It's
amazing. I actually as well have been to the Ark, and you guys were talking about the date night, you know, and then the date during the day at the Ark. I was thinking about how I took my 4 kids to the Ark. They all loved it, but because I was there with my kids, I got rushed through the opportunity to read through all the amazing you know, things that you guys have put throughout. And so I would encourage people, like, it is an incredible place to be for a day without the kids, that you can take your time reading things and enjoying, like, looking, you know, at all the amazing displays that they have in their entirety. So yeah, definitely. And I was just at a KOA campground last week in Michigan with my family, and in the gift shop they had a series of your kids' books, Ken. So just the impact that you're making in all kinds of places everywhere, as you know.
Well, that is great. It's so encouraging. Yeah, I appreciate that. By the way, when you come next time, Kurt, when you're coming here for this program, and Matt, you need to, and I'll make sure that you get in there, to our virtual reality experience. We have a new experience. It's a virtual reality experience where you put on the virtual reality glasses, but you sit in these seats. They're really high-tech seats, and you feel like you're inside a spacecraft, and you feel like you're flying. It's like having a ride. And you go back in time to the time of Noah, and you experience the flood. You survive it, but you experience the flood. You see the waters and the ark as it lifts up. You see Noah building the ark and so on. It is an absolutely incredible experience. People just love it and rave over it. It's a $3 million experience that an outside party funded to put in here, and it's amazing.
Wow!
Oh wow! I'm in. I want to go.
I can't wait.
That sounds amazing. And while we're there, Matt, what do you think about this? I think that we should maybe have Ken Ham make a surprise visit in the 1980s bus party, and we could dress him up in some parachute pants, in a members only jacket, and put a mullet wig on his head. He would be fabulous.
Yeah, man, we could we could definitely get some of those. When we were at the Mall of America, I remember we bought some extra 80s swag, so I'm sure we got some extra stuff sitting around for him.
You know, I'll have to check my calendar on that.
That's right.
Maybe we should get Ray Comfort out to join me to do that.
It's going to go over huge. 80s Aussie style. I love it.
Well, you know, I grew up on 60s music.
Yeah, well, 60s music is great too. 60s, 70s, music, and early 80s is probably my favorite. Maybe it's just when I was born, but there's some pretty good music.
Hey, one of the comments here, you know what a couple of people have really appreciated about this chat we're having today?
What's that?
Your T-shirt. For some reason, they like your T-shirt.
Yes. How many of you, be honest, have read my shirt already? Matt, did you read this already?
Well, I can only see the top. I could only see the Smokey says keep it green.
Smokey says.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a Smokey. Here we go. Hold on. It's a Smokey the Bear. Remember
Nice.
Smokey the Bear? You don't see much about Smokey the Bear anymore.
No.
But
California needs to
you can prevent forest
Smokey out
fires.
there working on those forests a little better, huh?
Only you can prevent forest fires or peaceful protest fires.
Yeah.
Because no one else seems to want to put those out.
Yeah, exactly.
Aren't you going to come here to the Ark then on November 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. and start a fire in people's hearts for the Lord, for their families?
That's right.
And to help turn this nation back to God, right?
There you go.
Yes, that's our prayer, is that a fire would be lit in the hearts of God's people. And it's not just the spiritual leaders out there. And we love our spiritual leaders, our pastors. We love how Franklin Graham leads giant prayer marches and so many others around the world. But as you said, the very first institution that God ordained, and I believe the A plan of bringing heaven to earth, begins with moms and dads, husbands and wives. It's the family. And that's how we pass the spiritual DNA on to the next generation. If we don't get it right at the family, we've neglected to lay the foundation for the kingdom of God on earth. And so that's what we're there to do, and together with you, build it up.
So, Kirk or Matt, can you give a quick summary as we sort of finish off here? I mean, this is a special program. It's going to be November 19th at the Ark Encounter at our special conference center we have here, 2,500-seat auditorium, Answer Center. Ooh. Of course, we can't sit that many people in right now because of the social distancing rules. But we can fit about 1,200 or so in. And I know that some people have already purchased, a lot of people have already purchased tickets for this, but there's still a lot of tickets available, and people can go to arkencounter.com/events to click through to your site to get tickets, or to your own site. What did you say that was?
KirkCameron.com. KirkCameron.com.
KirkCameron.com. And you're going to have a Mike Sievers 80s bus tour party. That's available. That's limited to only 8 people, by the way. And then the VIP experience that they can get, which includes early admission, first choice in seating, and a few other special things that happen for them. Private Q&A, a photo op with the famous Kirk Cameron. And then there's early entry, and then there's general admission. And so give us a little overview of what you'll be doing from 6 to 9. I encourage people to come to the Ark during the day and go through all the exhibits in the Ark and visit our zoo. And, you know, we have one of the biggest restaurants in America here, our Emzara's restaurant. It seats up to 17.
Very good restaurant, by the way. I've eaten there as well.
So, and then the virtual reality experience. I mean, there's a ton of things to do here, but this is a special evening program. Can you give us a quick overview before we finish here?
Sure. Matt, help me out here. I think that Ken's idea is fantastic, of just taking the whole day and going through the Ark Encounter, going through the museum, or I'm not sure how far apart they are, but then having the grand finale being the living room reset at night as a date with you and your spouse. The evening starts out with Matt, and Matt is leading us in worship. It is the most beautiful time to just sort of to take a deep breath and forget about the chaos that's happening around us right now, politically and otherwise, and focus on the Prince of Peace and the God who's on the throne. What happens next, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, it's a little cutting up on my side, but I think as long as you guys can hear me, I'm good. Yep. So, yeah, so basically, like, I've been doing this for 3 years now with Kirk. It's been such a privilege, as I said before. But for me, you know, the opportunity to sing, share a little of my story, and lead people in song has been incredible. But I've watched for 3 years Kirk deliver the messages that are changing people's lives. And it's not just this teaching that is founded in biblical truth for the family and for marriage, but it's also the humor. Kirk has really worked hard to bring an element of just humor throughout the night, and opportunities for us to just, I mean, it's not a show, you know, that's one thing I love about it. It's not a show. But it feels like still there is that value in there where it's like, it sounds like a long night, the 3 hours, but man, it goes so fast with everything we prepared for you. And you're going to take a lot away from it. You're not just going to have fun together, but you're also going to walk away having some really practical nuggets that you can take home and apply. And then just be reminded of the things that you already know that'll draw you closer together. So I'm so excited to just celebrate family and what we do with Kirk, and can't wait to see everybody out there.
Well, we're thrilled that this is going to be held here at the Answer Center, at the Ark Encounter, because we love your ministry and we understand it's so important to raise up godly children, godly offspring. So important for families to have that right foundation. Yes. In God's word. And this is a special date night. As I said, they can make it a date day, special date night. A number of people have been asking, is this going to be live streamed? And the answer is no, you've got to come here, and you have to come and see Kurt and Matt and Mike. You've got to come and see them personally. They're going to be here. So you need to get tickets to come to this event. It is a ticketed event, but I know there's a lot of places that haven't been able to do many events this year. So we're thrilled that we can actually host this, have it here at the Answer Center. I was thinking, you know, Kirk, seeing as we're Answers in Genesis as the ministry, you're going to tell guys to look into, you know, their date that night, look into their eyes and say, you know, you are bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. You are a woman.
He actually does.
That sounds so romantic, Ken. I love that. Flesh
well,
of
see,
my
I don't
flesh,
get all romantic.
Actually, you hit more Song of Solomon there, don't you, Kirk?
Yeah, I know. That was the phrase that Ken used to really set the hook with his wife. You are flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone.
You talk more about pomegranates and such, you know.
No.
Well, hey, look forward to seeing you guys Thursday, November 19th here at the Answer Center at the Ark Encounter, 6 o'clock to 9 p.m. And for the date night, for your living room reset program, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. What an opportunity to have a date night and learn about how to raise godly children, to be a godly husband, a godly wife, and all the wonderful worship music that you're going to have, all the wonderful teaching you're going to have, and the humor and all the fun that goes along with that, an entertaining but informational, worshipful evening. I mean, very unique opportunity to meet with Kirk Cameron and Matt and the others. And so go to kirkcameron.com for tickets for this event, or you can go to arkencounter.com/events, and you'll be able to click right through there. It'll go through to your page to get the tickets. So, hey, thanks for joining me to help people know about this. People need to know about it because it's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's not very long away. So they need to make their plans right now to get here to Northern Kentucky. The Ark Encounter is just south of Cincinnati. So we're about 45 minutes south of Cincinnati. And the Creation Museum is actually 45 minutes away from the Ark Encounter. But the reason we're here in Northern Kentucky, we're within a one-day drive of 2/3 of America's population. And the Ark Encounter, we have 800 acres here, and we sit right on Interstate 75, which is the second busiest north-south interstate in the whole of America. So tremendous central place, very easy to get to. So, you know, people can jump in their cars and drive, and within a day's drive, we've got 2/3 of the population. So it's easy for them to get to. So we're looking for lots of people to be here that night. So make sure they get their tickets online so they can be assured that they can come here and maybe even sign up for some of those extra special things like the VIP experience or Mike Seaver's 80s tour bus party. That sounds very interesting. Certainly does.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I hope you all get tickets soon, and you'll bring your friends and get ready for a very refreshing and inspirational night.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Matt.
You're
Look forward to seeing you soon.
All right.
See you guys.
Take care, guys. See ya. Should we keep